The drama surrounding this fight did not end when the final bell rang. In truth, it only truly began when the cameras powered down. The crowd dissipated, and the cold reality of what had transpired settled over to men, both at very different points in their careers. Boxing is cruel in that way. It allows confidence to swell unchecked, narratives to solidify, and egos to inflate, only to strip them all back to something raw, immediate, and unavoidable. What happened in Miami was not just a result, it was a reckoning, one that would unfold slowly, inexorably, and without compromise. Anthony Joshua understands these moments better than most. Years spent under scrutiny have conditioned him to operate within discomfort, to make decisions while under intense pressure, and to absorb the weight of public expectation without faltering. Early in his career, resistance provoked urgency or desperation. Now it provokes calculation. He observes, he measures, and when opportunity arises, he strikes with precision. The right hand that ultimately defined this fight was not thrown in anger, nor in desperation. It was thrown because the moment presented itself. Timing, not sheer force, distinguished it. Heavyweights land powerful shots all the time. It is what they do. What Joshua possesses is the ability to choose exactly when to deliver one with perfect effect. That single calculated decision changed everything, altering not only the night, but the trajectory of Jake Paul's career. For Paul, this moment was a reality he had never fully faced before. Until now, his boxing career had been a carefully curated climb. Each fight escalated in stakes, publicity, and controversy, yet ended predictably with victory. Opponents were recognizable but diminished. Wins bolstered belief. Loss had not yet presented itself as a teacher. That day, it did. Brutally and without warning. Paul's work ethic and preparation cannot be discounted. He trained seriously, with focus, discipline, and intent. But in boxing, effort alone is not sufficient. Elite fighting requires more than dedication. It requires the ability to make split-second decisions under duress, to adapt when a plan fails, to absorb punishment without panicking, and to continually learn in the face of consequence. These are not qualities that can be fabricated in a gym. They are earned in the ring, often painfully. And endurance is the ultimate divider. Crossover boxing, the phenomenon Paul has come to epitomize, exists on a delicate balance. It thrives on spectacle, drawing attention from audiences unfamiliar with traditional boxing, but borrows legitimacy from risk and consequence. As long as fights are controlled, the illusion holds. When the skill gap widens, reality intrudes. Heavyweight boxing is unforgiving. The margin for error is slim, and the consequences escalate with speed. This fight, though not descending into chaos, reminded everyone of that truth. Joshua's subsequent hospital visit drove the point home. Hospitals strip away bravado. There are no cameras, no applause, no belts to distract from reality. Pain and vulnerability are universal, and for Paul, witnessing Joshua under medical care reframed the narrative. This was no longer about image or social media. It was about cost. The body, in boxing, is the ultimate arbiter, and the body does not negotiate. Joshua's presence there did not diminish him. It underscored the shared vulnerability that defines the sport. Respect in boxing is rarely loud. It emerges in moments like this when danger is undeniable, when consequence is tangible, and when two fighters recognize the risks they willingly accept. Public perception also shifted. Early in the fight, Joshua faced moments of resistance against a younger, less experienced opponent. Some critics suggested that struggling early could signal decline. Others argued that adaptability, rather than dominance, was the true measure of maturity. The heavyweight division rarely delivers clean answers. Styles collide. Timing reshapes narratives. One fight rarely resolves all questions. What it does offer is evidence. Joshua remains dangerous. His power can still end fights. His composure demonstrates growth. None of this guarantees titles, but it provides possibility. For Paul, the evidence was starker. Reality imposed a ceiling defined not by will or branding, but by exposure. Losses have a way of teaching lessons faster than victory ever can. Whether this ceiling is permanent remains unknown. Some fighters use setbacks as catalysts for transformation. Reinvention is possible, but it requires humility, patience, and time, often in isolation from public scrutiny. Progress rarely follows a straight line. Setbacks must be navigated carefully. The jaw injury Paul sustained reinforced the lesson. Recovery stretches time in ways that test both mind and body. Training becomes theoretical. Conditioning shifts from advancement to maintenance. The body heals while ambition waits. For someone accustomed to immediate momentum and constant attention, this pause can be more punishing than any opponent ever could be. Healing becomes a form of enforced reflection, a rare teacher for those whose careers are built on spectacle, trash talk, and bravado. Once the currency of Paul's rise quickly dissolve under these circumstances. Words that once carried weight now echo hollowly. Confidence, unchecked by consequence, feels invincible. Confidence tested by reality must adapt or fracture. Boxing, as always, remains indifferent. The hours following the fight were filled with speculation. Potential rematches were floated, debated, and dismissed. Alternative opponents were suggested. Career pivots were imagined. Yet none of this mattered. Not until healing was complete. Not until clarity returned. In boxing, the body not narrative controls the timeline. Joshua returned to routine. The gym serving as both sanctuary and proving ground. Gyms are honest places, where effort, skill, and failure are remembered equally. Training resumed with full understanding of the heavyweight division's ruthlessness. Youth presses forward relentlessly. Contenders wait, circling patiently. Politics and promotional maneuvering complicate opportunities. One knockout does not simplify the division, it sharpens it. It exposes strengths, vulnerabilities, and the harsh truth of elite combat. This fight will be remembered not for its buildup, nor for its spectacle, but for consequence. Not for marketing or hype, but for proof. It is a rare moment in boxing, one where the illusion of control is stripped away, and the sport's fundamental rules are laid bare. Experience matters. Power matters. Belief, when untested, eventually meets resistance. The hospital room emptied. The lights dimmed. Outside, narratives evolved, shaped by fan allegiance, media spin, and social commentary. Inside, the lessons settled, quietly yet permanently. Preparation is crucial, but reality decides. And in boxing, reality strikes hardest when patience meets precision. Now the story pivots forward. Heavier, more honest, and impossible to ignore. Critical questions loom. What will Jake Paul do with this lesson? Will he retreat, rebuild, and reinvent without the cameras, without shortcuts, without constant public pressure? Or will the weight of consequence redirect his ambitions entirely, forcing a fundamental recalibration? What does this moment mean for crossover boxing as a genre? Has a line been drawn, or will the experiment adapt once more, learning and evolving from the fallout? History offers guidance. Legendary fighters who endured similar setbacks. Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis demonstrated that losses do not define a career unless one allows them to. Every setback is an opportunity for evolution. Every injury a call to patience. Every consequence a test of character. Paul now faces the same test, magnified by media scrutiny and the rapid attention cycles of modern social media. This fight has rewritten the narrative for both men, and, by extension, for crossover boxing itself. It reminds the world that boxing is unyielding. It punishes overconfidence, rewards patience, and demands adaptation. Spectacle draws eyes. Experience wins fights. Reality never compromises. Fans, promoters, and analysts will debate this fight for months. Every nuance of strategy, every micro-adjustment in the ring, every small moment of timing will be dissected. For Paul, the road forward demands more than grit. It demands introspection, humility, and discipline away from the spotlight. For Joshua, it is a confirmation that skill, experience, and respect for the craft remain invaluable assets, more enduring than titles, paydays, or social media approval. In the broader context, this fight also challenges the crossover boxing experiment. The spectacle that once brought attention now faces questions about legitimacy, risk, and long-term sustainability. Promoters and broadcasters must reconsider the narrative. Can crossover boxing thrive when consequences are real and skill gaps are exposed? Will audiences continue to engage when outcomes become unpredictable? And most importantly, can fighters like Jake Paul learn from defeat without losing the momentum that brought them attention in the first place? Ultimately, this fight, and Joshua's hospital visit, serve as a reminder that boxing is brutally honest. It does not bend to hype or narrative. It rewards preparation, punishes mistakes, and demands respect from everyone involved. One punch can change a career. One injury can reshape an entire journey. One moment can redefine perception. And for Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua, and the world watching, the Miami fight will be remembered not for spectacle, but for the unforgiving reality of boxing. Let me know what you think in the comments. Was this fight a reality check for Jake Paul that he needed, or does he still have a path forward at the highest level if he adapts fundamentally? What did Anthony Joshua's victory